first guest calling in right now. Let's go ahead add him on. And
Hello.
I'm now joined with Barbwire Biggz right here right now. What's going on, man?
Not much. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Thank you for being on. And yeah, I noticed you changed your name to Barbwire Biggz, so we'll definitely get into the name change momentarily. But let's start off with your wrestling career first, and how did it all got started?
Well, back in '98, I pretty much had three guys mainly training me. '98 it was Ken Spence. I trained a little bit with him, and then I went on to Fayetteville. Ken Spence was in Winston-Salem, and Fayetteville, Timber Lumberjack and Slash Walker finished my training.
Okay. And do you remember the first match you ever had?
Oh, definitely. uh, I was a tag team. We were doing a hillbilly gimmick, and we were part of the Ed Brothers, and I was Big Ed, and I had my tag team partner who was Todd Ed. We had a handicap match against Dave Renegade for ACCW in Wilmington, North Carolina. It was mainly supposed to be a handicap match, but it ended up being out of the rings, hit with everything, and I got slammed on a picnic table, hit with a bag of popcorn, thrown into a trash can. Of course, we lost because I got pinned.
Well, that was quite a way to start off your wrestling career.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Did you had like a butterfly? Did you ever got nervous leading up to the match?
Oh, definitely. I mean, to this day, I still have butterflies before I go out to the ring.
And I noticed that you recently changed your name to Barbwire Biggz. Talk about the name change and how did that came about.
Well, I changed my whole look, my ring attire, because when I was with TJ Biggs, I was wearing I was doing almost a Tommy Dreamer look, with the shirt and the pants, and I figured, let me get some barbed wire tights. I got biker shorts that are barbed wire. I got barbed wire tattooed on my arm, and I'm in the process of having a gimmick bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. So I was like, and I threw it to one of my friends, the Beast, who wrestles with me now for UPWA, and we're putting on a show for the Soldiers November 10th. He goes, well, that sounds good. So I went, Barbwire Biggz.
I'm gonna assume that you're more of a fan of the hardcore wrestling, the ECW's type of deal.
Well, I can do that, but I can wrestle too. I mean, I you know, any match you put me in, I can do. I mean,
Gotcha. So when it comes to the character, going into the ring, you're going in as a character. What role you like being the most? You like being the baby face or you like being the heel?
well, most recently, a couple weeks ago, I turned heel at Riverfest in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is that's really what I like doing. I like doing the heel because you know I can get under the crowd's skin.
And you like being the heel. Have you ever had like a confrontation with a fan booing you and jeering you that has gotten a little too far?
Oh yeah, I've had cups thrown at me, the hard little Pepsi cups thrown at me, hit in the head, and I was in Dunn, North Carolina about 10 years ago, and there was one incident with an old lady for her false teeth, which we were the heels that night through the crowd. We started out as face, and as the match went along, they started booing us, and so I went out there and confronted an older lady, and as she was jawing to me, her teeth fell out.
Oh.
So, and of course, I had to roll back in the ring because I was laughing. You know, I had to hide my laughter. I almost broke character. But that was a fun night. But yeah, I've had at the end of the shows, I'd go out to my car, put my stuff in there, and I've had people come and say, "Oh, you know, really get seriously confrontational," and I'm like, I was just like, I just want to go home. I did my work for the night, and
Wow. The teeth coming out. I mean, that's the wrestlers have their share of bloopers, but not fans until the story I just heard. I guess a lesson learned. I don't know. She must have had maybe she didn't got her teeth tightened up prior to going into the show. I really don't know. For those of you tuning in, you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on itmiradio.com. Talk Channel 2. I'm joined my first guest of the evening, Barbwire Biggz. Do you have any upcoming shows you're going to be a part of?
Yeah. In November 10th in Wilmington, North Carolina, at John T. Hoggart High School, we're putting on a show. It's called Modern Day Warriors. It's a benefit for the soldiers and their families. There's going to be 7 matches. I'm the opening match. I'm taking on Cold Blood, which is a great talent, I think. And the main event is L.A. Tank. It's going to be taking on the Hurricane Helms.
All right, so everybody be on the lookout for that. Hurricane Helms, former WWE superstar, will be in attendance. It's always good to see, the former WWE, the former pro wrestlers going back to their roots, going back to where it all started for them. Being on the indie scene and all. I mean, how does that make you feel when you see wrestlers that you see on national television now? They go back to their roots, go back to the indie scene like that.
I think the indies are. I mean, some of the matches on indies are as exciting as what you see on TV on like WWE and TNA. I was on a show years ago with Jimmy Valiant, and I was like a little kid in a candy store. I was like, my jaw was just like, oh, I'm on a show with Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man.
That is awesome, man. So what do you like the most of being a wrestler? You like traveling? You like hanging with the guys and the girls in the locker room? The fan interaction? What do you like the most of being a wrestler?
I like the whole kit and caboodle. I mean the whole package. It's just meeting the fans, seeing a little kid right there. You don't have to be a big name star to make them smile or make them like clap and cheer. And hanging out in the locker room with the guys and girls. I mean, it's you see old friends. You meet new friends. New acquaintances, and it's just it's like a rush. It feels good every time I go put my bag down and start get ready.
What do you consider the highlight of your wrestling career thus far? It could be a match, it could be an angle, a storyline, or a championship you may have won. What do you consider as the highlight of your wrestling career?
Well, there was a match I had years ago. It was me and my tag team partner, as I said before, we were doing a hillbilly gimmick, and we took on Caprice Coleman, and I forgot what his name was. I think his name was Lotus, and I believe I got the pinfall, but just being in the ring with Caprice Coleman, which I watch him to this day on Ring of Honor, and it's spectacular.
as I think about it, the Carolinas, North and South, has had their share of really talented wrestlers throughout the years. The
Oh
Hardy
yeah.
Boys, you mentioned Alexander and Caprice Coleman, who I interviewed about a month ago. Very cool cat. Um,
Yep, yep, that's correct.
Very cool cat. Coleman and Alexander. I mean, the list goes on and on. They have had their share of very successful talent, and Ring of Honor is fun to watch. Uh, it just makes you feel like you're actually watching wrestling. Uh,
Yeah.
and
It's like got that old school feel to it.
I mean, it's very passionate, and just the moves that they are able to utilize is just it's unbelievable. I mean, it just makes you think, how do they pull this off? And they do it. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main that makes people intrigued of wrestling. I know WWE and Impact, they focus more on the entertainment side of things, which I'm okay with it to some extent. But you are a wrestling company, and we do expect a little bit more wrestling. But that's just me.
I'm with you on that one.
And you, as a fan, from a fan standpoint, what is your thoughts on the WWEs and Impacts and how they look as of right now?
Right now, I mean, just I wish I missed the days of the WWF when it was like there was wrestling, and instead of all these little backstage skits and it's almost like sometimes it's a comedy act.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like some of them. I like Team
Oh yeah,
Hell No. I like Daniel Bryan and Kane.
yeah,
That keeps me laughing. But it just seems like they lose focus on what they are, and you turn yourself into a 3 hour show, and it seems like that's more time for more comedy routines than actual wrestling. I mean,
yeah.
it's just I don't know. Vince needs to do something with that. Vince McMahon, he's no dummy. I mean, he should know what good wrestling looks like. I guess he just don't have as much control as people say he does. But that's here and there. Um, if you can have a dream match against anyone, past or present, pro or indie, dead or alive, what would your dream match be, and who would your opponent would be?
Oh goodness. I heard one of your interviews earlier. He asked that question. I said the one guy asked me that before on Facebook, and I said AJ Styles. I just think it would be exciting to be in a ring wrestling him.
It's amazing to see that AJ Styles to this day, from his days of Ring of Honor to now with Impact. I mean, he's just one of those guys that still performs at a high level. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely one of those guys that's been around for a long time, and he's never lost a beat. Sometimes I guess you can notice from some wrestlers when they lose a step or two, but I don't see that in AJ Styles. I see he still keep on moving. He,
Yep.
he still keeps on moving. Oh, and by the way, people, under the new name Barbwire Biggz, you do have a Facebook fan page that people can like and learn more from you and your upcoming shows, like the one you got coming up in November. Barbwire Biggz is his name. That's Biggz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes people can mistake the S to the Z's, but that's
Yeah.
besides the point. So definitely check this cat out, Barbwire Biggz, with the new name and everything. He's got a lot in store. I've been chatting with you, not just about wrestling on Facebook, but about football as well. Did you, by any chance, play any other sports other than wrestling?
Do I do any other sports other than wrestling? Well, not really. I used to be an avid baseball player when I was younger.
Wow. Baseball player.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
Uh, get trained properly. You know, learn how to mat wrestle, learn the philosophy, and just learn showmanship. You can do showmanship without having to jump off the ropes every 2 minutes.
And this is a question I think I'm going to start asking, and it kind of started last week. A couple of wrestlers have been talking about backyard wrestling and how I guess it has been giving wrestling a bad name. It seems like people want to go through backyard wrestling rather than going through it the old-fashioned way. What's your take on backyard wrestling and I mean, what's your take when someone wants to pursue backyard wrestling other than actually getting proper trained?
Don't do it. When I was young, growing up in Texas, we did it. We did a little backyard wrestling before it was really known, but we didn't try to become wrestlers. You know, get trained properly. Backyard wrestling is not going to get you into wrestling.
I just wish that I guess inspiring wrestlers will realize that. I don't know. I guess it's maybe a little bit more intriguing to them that they want to do this, and then they're gonna realize that it's just one of those things that you think is a very cool idea, but then when you actually do it and things go horribly wrong, people will realize this is not the way to go. Um, so I guess maybe some common sense will pop in when they go through that backyard stuff. We all have to go through certain things that we think is a good idea, but it's not a good idea. Um,
Exactly.
so, Barbwire Biggz, I want to take this time and say thank you, sir, for listening to the show. Thank you for being on. Everybody be on the lookout for him in November in the Carolinas. Check them out. Support local indie pro wrestling, the backbone of professional wrestling, no doubt about it. And again, sir, thank you for being on. Best success goes out to you going forward.
It was a pleasure, and I appreciate it, and I hope to be on the show again.
Oh, most definitely. Well, I'll definitely would like to have you back on in the future.
Thank you, sir.
You have a good night.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Barbwire Biggz kicking things off right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.